I will first tell you one point, that is why C programming is so popular nowadays, because we will able to find its application in embedded system, in embedded system. Now I will tell you where it is actually used in embedded system and what is this embedded system is all about. But one thing I will tell you, the greatest application of C programming we will find here. Now, embedded system basically uses embedded C programming. So, embedded C programming, you can say, one extended part of basic C programming. So, basically, we are learning C programming so that we could understand further in future embedded C programming, so that we could design someday some embedded system. So, you just make one note here, that is embedded C is one of the most popular programming language in basically software field for developing electronic gadgets. So the biggest application of the embedded system is in making electronic gadgets, right? This is my first point. The first point is the application of embedded system is electronic gadgets. So, embedded C programming basically plays a key role in performing specific function by the processor. So, in day to day life, we use many electronic devices such as mobile phone, washing machines, digital cameras, and so on. So, this all devices or the working principle of these all devices are based on microcontrollers. All these electronic gadgets and their programming are based on microcontrollers. Hmm. And these microcontrollers are basically programmed for the embedded system. So these microcontrollers are programmed for the embedded system. So first I will tell you two or three block diagram today, so that you people can comprehend what is actually happening inside a system. So the first block diagram is, whenever a specific problem is given to you, see, the problem may be anything. Say I want to create a system that can bling LED light with multiple colors. So this is a very basic application. So say I have some specific problem or requirement from my end. Now this problem is basically provided first in terms of human instruction, and further whatever code we will write in terms of human instruction, this code will be converted some internal representation, something like binary or hexadecimal representation, and this two kind of representation together will give us the solution, that what we are expecting from the system to deliver. And my point is here, human instruction means whatever programming we will write. Now, at this point, this is a choice of our end what programming we will select. So I can select simple C, I can select advanced C, that is embedded C, or in some days people are selecting C++ programming language also. So my point is, please do not make a notion that only C programming can perform this task. But my point is, C programming and embedded C programmings are so popular in this kind of electronic gadgets. Now you may ask me one question, why people prefer C programming language over other programming language? See, due to its simplicity, because these codes are very easy to understand and comprehend. Second, there are more points like reliability and other points. I will come back to you. But here my point is, this human instructions can be written either in C, either in embedded C or in C++. So this is the first block diagram that you have to understand. So basically here my point is the extension in C language, which is known as embedded C. It is just an extension. So learning C programming is very, very important, because while learning any programming language, we always try to make something that is beneficial for our society. So this is the need. Now, this is the basic step of the block diagram, but this block diagram is not so simple. So this block diagram has some intermediate step. That is, whenever a particular problem or requirement is given to us, then first we don't go for coding, because no person can code by only visualizing the problem. Problem means the description of the problem, description of the application. So the first step from the problem that we have to do, we have to design some algorithms. So what is this algorithms? Algorithms are the probable steps that I will perform or that I will code in my programming in terms of simple English language, and it will contain some specific steps. So the first thing is, whenever you are learning or listening to anything particular as a problem, then first you have to convert it into an algorithm. These steps are very, very essential to find how to write your code properly. Then, after writing the algorithm, then we will create some diagrammatical representation. This diagrammatical representation is basically known as flowchart. So in this flowchart, we have several notations, that is starting and ending symbol starts with oval. Input symbol will be using this kind of diagram, and then we have so many condition checking diamond kind of shapes. So we need a flow chart so that we could see how the flow of execution of the code will move on. So I will tell you this how we will create this flow chart, because whenever I am going to describe anything like if else for loop, each time I will tell you what are the basic internal flow chart which is used for it, because flow charts are very, very important to understand after which instruction what will be the next instruction for execution. So after performing these two steps, then human instruction takes place. So then this human instructions is coded, and after that the compiler will perform the internal representation in terms of binary or hexadecimal form, and after that we could get the solution. So this is the very basic block diagram that we have to remember for designing any embedded system by using C programming. But here I will tell you what are the exact steps involved while designing an embedded system with C programming. Now I will tell you that steps. Please check the steps carefully. So now my point is, for designing any embedded system, what I need, I have to write some C program, right? Say program.c. But at the initial stage of this class, I tell you that C programming and embedded C programming has some basic difference. So I will tell you first difference, that is, you will find me writing, that is hash include stdio.h in the C programming, right? But say if I am writing this code for particular embedded system design, the first thing that you will find that I am using a header file something like this. Hash include, the file name is say reg51.h. So this is a header file. So the first point that I want to tell you, that whenever we want to design some specific C programming code for some specific system, we have to include some specific predefined files, library files in terms of hash include. But see, the syntax is same, just like a C programming. And after that, we have some void main and everything. Each thing is same. So this kind of difference you could find. Now my point is, say this is my step one. After writing the code for the embedded system, what will happen in step one? That is, we use as a compiler that is installed in our PC. So for executing this code, I have to use some compiler, and compiler will be definitely installed in my PC to write the program and to select the appropriate option to compile it. After compilation, we will get sometimes hex code. What is hexadecimal code? I will tell you later on. So after writing the code, the first step is I have to compile it using my own compiler, and then compiler will convert it into the hexadecimal format, and it will look like something like this: 10111110, something like this. And say this intermediate name of this program will be same, because I have explained this why, because in each step whatever will be the intermediate steps, the name of the program will be same, only the extension differs. So if it is a hexadecimal code, then the extension will be hex. So this is the output of the code after compilation, internal representation. Now in step 2,
Ma'am,
yes.
it's an hexadecimal or binary code.
Yes, I will tell you. Sometimes it is a hexadecimal code and sometimes it is a binary code. Whatever may be the thing, now for the time being, you just try to realize it is an intermediate representation in terms of zeros and ones. In the next class, I will tell you why intermediate representation will be binary, in which situation, and in which situation it will be a hexa, and what is the difference in between that, right?
Oh,
And we have
acha,
some mathematical problem on that also, so I will definitely explain that. So for
acha.
the time being, you just think of it as an intermediate representation in terms of zeros and ones, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So after this step, now we have to move on to the step 2. So in step 2, what we have to do, we have to load this hexadecimal file, right? And loading this hexadecimal file, and where? Into the microcontroller. So it will look like this. It is a microcontroller and something will be there, and the program will be loaded in somewhere. So basically, my point is, you can say that we are going to build a program, microcontroller based program, for my target device. For my target device. Now after that, after loading the code into the microcontroller, then as an output we will get a programmed microcontroller. Programmed microcontroller, something like this. And this programmed microcontroller will help me, or I will embed this into the system so that my system can perform according to my requirement, right? So whatever requirement I will fed, I will design, it will be represented by in terms of programming. Programming will be converted to the hex or intermediate representation, and this representation is loaded into the microcontroller, and then as an output we will get programmed microcontroller, and this microcontroller will be fed into the system or into the embedded system, so that my digital camera can work, so that my home security system can work, so that my washing machine can work. So these are the basic steps. But in the previous to this diagram, I tell you that whatever requirement we provide as a human being now, this requirement cannot be designed as a programmer. So in here we have to design algorithms, and then we have to design some flowchart. Flowchart is always for better understanding the flow of execution of the code. So after performing this two step na, then only we can able to write the programming. But at this point, I have one question for you all. Do you have any idea what is microcontroller is? Because today we are writing a code so that my code can fit into the microcontroller, and so that we can get a microcontroller. And you know that from my explanation that this kind of microcontroller is used in some electronics device or gadgets. Those are also known as embedded systems, so that they could work. But can you tell me that what do you mean by a microcontroller? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
A microcontroller. We can program a microcontroller according to our requirement, and it will perform as we programmed it. Like Arduino Nano, it is a microcontroller,
Right,
so we can program it and use it according to our choice.
right, right, right. So,
Like if we want to
mhm.
make a fingerprint sensor, and it will help us, and we can program this microcontroller, and after my fingerprint it will show me that it can authenticate me.
Right, right, right. So my point is, can you heard about this term IC?
Yes, ma'am.
IC
Integrated circuit.
integrated circuit. Can I tell that IC is somewhat like microcontroller?
Sorry, I
Can
can't
I
understand.
tell that IC is same as microcontroller means my integrated circuit means
No, no, no,
microcontroller.
ma'am.
Microcontroller has some specific
We
thing.
cannot
So if IC
change.
that IC have doesn't have this, so we cannot tell that IC is a microcontroller.
Okay.
Some
Ma'am,
some
we can
memory.
say in one.
Mm-hmm.
Deeptanshu
Yes.
continue. Deeptanshu continue.
Some registers, some caches, or some memory, some blocks. If they does not exist in that IC, we can't tell that IC is a microcontroller because it cannot run itself. Cannot run by
Actually,
itself.
we cannot change the
Mm-hmm.
program. We cannot change the program which is installed in a IC, but we can
Mm-hmm.
change the program which is installed in a microcontroller according to our choice.
Okay. So any more
Ma'am,
suggestion? Yes.
in one word, we can say microcontroller is a mini computer which has one or
Mm-hmm.
more CPUs, registers, cache memories,
Mm-hmm.
and as Parijat said that we can reprogram it one or more time. But
Hmm.
in IC, it's a complex circuit. I mean, it's like it uses as a circuit way, but we cannot
Mm-hmm.
program it, or it doesn't have any CPUs or registers.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Any
it.
more suggestion?
And IC don't have any clock pulse. It cannot work in,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clock. It cannot use any clock pulse. Not all the IC, but the flip-flops can use the clock pulse, but not all IC can use the clock pulse. But all the microcontroller can generate clock pulse
Mm-hmm. Okay.
itself.
Yes, the answers are partially correct, but there is some misconception involved here. So, any more suggestion from your end?
What type of misconception, man?
I will tell you what misconception you have for
Okay.
microcontrollers. The answers are quite correct, but you have missed one point. See, this is a very basic thing that we have to understand, that is microcontroller a IC. That some people are talking about some ICs will not use clock pulse, microcontroller will use that clock pulse. So I can tell that okay, I will pick up that IC that is having a clock pulse and I will use it in the microcontroller. And somebody is also explaining that microcontroller cannot work alone. It needs some memory and other objects or peripherals, something like that. So my point is, please be very specific and clear about the idea about microcontroller. See, for the first point, I think it is clear. We are designing our C code so that we can program it into the microcontroller. And the second point is also clear to you. We cannot write the code inside the microcontroller. We will compile the code and create some intermediate representation that is understandable by the machine, which is also known as machine code. Since this kind of representation is understandable by the machine, then this kind of file can be loaded into the microcontroller. So this was my explanation, but my point is, please make a note, microcontroller is also an integrated circuit. You can say that it is an integrated device circuit, right? And it is used for some electronic systems, and additionally a microcontroller cannot work alone. Additionally, it needs memory, some peripherals, some microprocessors, which is also known as MPU. So this is my point. Basically, the point is micro means very small, and controller implies that you can say that an enhancement ability to perform some control functions. So definitely the answer is yes. The microcontroller is an IC, integrated circuit device, and it uses MPUs, registers, memory, and some other peripherals according to the need of the system so that it could perform. So this is the basic idea of an microcontroller. So I think it is clear to you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, you asked, is any IC is a microcontroller? I mean, the opposite part.
Hmm.
Uh, but
So the
but
opposite part.
microcontroller is also an IC. It's
Yes,
obvious.
microcontroller is that is the point I was talking about. So you have to listen. Yes, very good point that you have to mention. So any IC cannot be a microcontroller, right? Because
Yes.
IC means it's a simple chip. But a microcontroller is a form of IC with some other devices. Yes, that was the trick I was asking about, right? What is your name?
Diptangshu Das.
Yes, Diptangshu, you have mentioned a very good point. Yes, I think it is clear to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I will tell you one very, very interesting thing. Why we are talking about so many things. Please try to understand. So from this diagram, na, it is clear to us that so if I write a very good programming representation, means if I write a very good code in an optimized manner, then we will get a better intermediate representation, and better the intermediate representation will be, the better will be the microcontroller design, and better my system will perform. See, conceptually, say I don't know programming, and also say I'm assuming that you people don't know programming. But one thing we both can understand, if I write very long lines of code in a programming, so it is not good for my device to perform, right? We always expect a very small lines of code, right? But writing small code does not imply that I should be a very good programmer. Now I will tell you two parallel implementation of a same code so that you could understand, just by flipping one concept in the programming we can design more optimized code. So in this session, throughout this session, we will try to learn what are the operators or what are the thing that we have to use for writing better C programming. See, the person who knows C programming prior, that person can write a code. But writing code is not essential. My point is, writing optimized code is essential. Now I will tell you one very, very important point. So here I will tell you one point, that is, all of us we know that in C programming we can use the concept of branching. So today I'm going to tell you the concept about branching. Now you will tell me that what is branching? See, branching means, like a tree, branching means either you can go to this branch or you can go to this branch. So what is the meaning of that? So in C programming, it will use a particular syntax which is known as if else, right? If else. And if with if if syntax, you can write some condition, and however with the else part you cannot write any condition. Else is just a keyword, and after else you should have curly braces. And in the body of this part you can write anything, printf or any particular statement here also. So basically, why we need this kind of branching in C? Because in some problem or in some device implementation, either this one or this one, we may have two options. Na? So this kind of option kind of implementation can be designed using if else. But there is one question repeatedly asked in your exam, that is why if else is required. Because in C programming language, there is a beautiful operator which is known as conditional operator. Conditional operator, or sometimes it is also known as ternary operator. So some people will debate over it that functionality of the if else is somewhat like similar with the functionality of the conditional operator. So which one to use and why to use? Now I will tell you one simple code so that you could understand if else and so that you could understand conditional operator. So this is the basic syntax of if else. Now this how this conditional operator you will use. In the conditional operator, some condition is provided to you. Some condition is provided to you, right? And you have to ask whether this condition is true or false. If the condition is true, then this part of the programming will be executed. If the condition is false, then we will use a separator, then this part of the programming will be used. So this is the very basic diagram of a conditional operator. Put some condition, put question mark and write something here. If the condition is true, this part will be printed. If the condition is false, then this part will be printed. So as a result, what will happen? Some people debate on that. Okay, if you use if else, then you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 lines of code. But whenever you are using conditional operator, you have only 1 lines of code. So can I expect that conditional operator is giving me the shorter code? So let's try one code so that we could understand what is the difference between if else and conditional operator. Say a problem is given to me. The problem is somewhat like if the person age is greater than 18, then this person can eligible for voting. If not 18, then that person is not eligible for voting. So this is the problem. So to solve this kind of problem, what we can expect from a C code is that, so what we need. So I will write, so I will tell you na, so from the problem I cannot design the code. So from the problem I have to jot down some points. So what I have to do is that, so first we have to understand what is the age of a person. So to understanding the age of a person, I have to take input from the keyboard to understand the age. So we have to take input age from the keyboard. And I have explained in the previous class, for taking any value from the keyboard, I will use a function that is scanf. After that, now I have to check, after that taking the input, I have to check if this value, means whatever value I have taken by whatever age I have taken in the as an input, whether this particular age is greater than 18 or not. Means if this age is greater than 18, then the person can vote, otherwise not. So how could I design this one? So I will write a main function. See, I will write a main function. I'm just not writing the header files. And here what I need, here I need to take input from keyboard. So how could I take input from keyboard? By using scanf. In the previous class I have explained. So this scanf function has two parts. In this part, I have to mention what kind of value I am going to take as an input. So age will be integer always. So integer value uses the specifier %d. So I will use %d as a symbol that I am going to take integer input. After that, this two section will be separated by comma. And here what I need? Here I need a container. Or we can say we need a variable where I can take the value. Say the variable name is age. So inside this age, I want to take the value, whatever value is provided by the keyboard. But I have mentioned one thing, each variable has its own address or location. So whenever I'm writing age, it is accommodating some amount of memory, and that memory location should have an address. So I want to take an integer value to a specific variable at some specific location. So at some specific location means I have to use this ampersand sign, right? So basically, after writing this line, I can say that age is a variable. This variable is of type integer, and this variable is situated at some specific location in the memory. So it is done. But what kind of variable it is not defined by the specifier. So I have to define it previously. So int, my variable is an integer. And also, if I only write scanf while executing the code, at the first step you will find a blank screen and here your cursor is blinking. So how could a user could understand that what I have to write next? So to make user or to make my program user friendly, before scanf, always I have to write some line. That is what we have to do, we have to take it as an input. So I will write here, enter your age. And in the previous class, I have explained that whenever we write something within the double quotes, the as it is thing will be printed on the screen. Means in the screen, first it will come, enter your age, and then user could understand, okay, I have to enter an age. Then the user will enter its age, and this age will be coming to this age variable and it will store in that variable. So the first step is done. So in the second step of my problem, what I have to do, I have to perform one checking. That is, whatever age I have taken, whether it is greater than 18 or less than 18. So when this kind of question comes, so we will use the concept of branching. Means I will use if else statement. So how could I write? I have to write if, and then what I have to write? I have to write else. So this is the basic syntax of if else. Right? So my point is, after if you can write a condition. So what do you mean by condition? Condition means what are the criteria given in the exam. Given in the problem. In the problem it is given that whatever input I have taken, whether it is greater than or equal to 18 or not. So I will write whatever age I have taken inside the variable age, whether it is greater than or equal to the value 18 or not. If this condition is true, then I can write printf that you are eligible for voting. Eligible for voting. And if this statement is false, then this portion will not be executed. It will come to the second branch. In the second branch, I can directly print that not eligible for voting. Not eligible for voting. Right? So then I have to end this bracket as a closing statement. But this is not the point. The point is it a correct programming? See, my answer is yes, it is a correct programming. Whatever programming I have written, I have just correct. But is it a optimized programming? Or is it the best option that I have provided in my programming? Then I will tell you no, because I can write this program in a shorter manner. How? By using conditional operator. But remember one point, everybody will ask me whether it is an optimized code. I am not talking about optimization. Right now I am talking about whether the lines of code are reduced or not. Means, can I reduce the lines of code in the programming? That is my point. See, my point is yes, I can reduce the lines of code in my programming. Here I have used 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 kind of line. So I can do one thing. By writing one line, I can optimize this entire portion. How can I reduce this entire portion? I will tell you. So I will now perform reduction. So up to this it is done. So this portion cannot be reduced further. So after taking age as an input, then I can do one thing. I can use conditional operator. Now what is the syntax of the conditional operator? First you have to write the condition. So now what is the condition? See, this is the condition. So what is my condition? That is whatever age I have taken from the keyboard, whether it is greater than equal to 18 or not, right? Then according to the syntax of the conditional operator, then we have to ask this question. So whether this part is true or false. If this part is true, then this part will be executed. Otherwise, for the false, the latter part will be executed. So in this part, I can write one line, that is printf eligible for voting, done, eligible for voting. So it is within one bracket, and then if it is false, then I can write printf not eligible for voting. So it is within another bracket. So please try to understand, all these lines of code will be reduced to one line. Reduced to one line. So we can say that, I just write a very clearly, that is according to conditional operator, what I did, I just write the condition, that is if age is greater than equal to 18, it is greater than. If it is greater than equal to 18, then I can write printf eligible for voting. So you can write this line, and it should be kept inside a bracket. So if this condition is true, if this condition is false, then I can write printf not eligible for voting, not eligible, and it should be inside another bracket, and the statement will end with a semicolon, right? My point was, if I use conditional operator, then my lines of code will be reduced in the programming. If I use conditional operator, so is it deliver me a optimized code, or if else is better? The conclusion of my class is, if we use if else na, then maybe we have more lines of code, but it is found that if else will give us a reduced internal representation. Reduced internal representation. However, conditional operators are easy to use, means conditional operators take less number of lines of code, less numbers of lines of code. However, the internal representation of these conditional operators are not reduced as if else. So my answer is, since if else has reduced or simple intermediate representation, so using if else is better for getting optimized code. That is my point. But now I have one question. If somebody tell you that how could I get an optimized as well as reduced code? So achieving both properties are possible simultaneously. So from my explanation, please do not think that reduction of code and optimization of the code is somewhat like two different properties. See, basically reduced code will give us some optimized code. But why I am mentioning in this situation, na, this is a special case. That's why I was mentioning that if else will give us a lengthier code but reduced internal representation. So please make a note out of here, that is, it depends on the situation, as Pragya said. So what kind of programming we are performing, it depends on the situation. So simultaneously achieving both the property is possible, and for that reason we have shifted to many other special kind of programming languages. So
Ma'am,
in
I
C
have a
also it is
question.
possible. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, the more the lines of code, the more memory space it will require. So longer the time of output, right?
Hmm, 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 hmm. Yes,
So this is not means it will take a longer amount of time to
yes.
give me
What
a
is your
script
name?
rather than Shrestha.
Sreshta, thank you for your question. I miss this point, please try to understand whatever we write na as a code means the number of instructions, so it
Yes,
is
ma'am.
first converted to the internal representation, that is the intermediate format, huh? So our intention is to generate the reduced internal format, because I have explained na, so this format will be stored in that ram will able to execute, and it's a very small memory. So please try to understand, yes, you are correct, if the number of lines increases, then the storage also increases. But if the number of lines increases, that doesn't imply that it will give you a less it will give you a larger intermediate code. So the memory storage is dependent on mostly the size of the internal representation, right? So that's why I'm telling you this special case, since if else look like that it is providing us bigger means greater number of lines of code, however the internal representation is less, and that internal representation we are storing into the memory or any other chip. So my chip is concerned about small programming. Small programming does not imply my codes are small, lines of codes are small. Small programming implies my internal representation is small, right? So that's why.
Means it is dependent on the complexity of the structured format.
Yes. But you are also correct. I will tell you this scenario. You are also correct. Yes, if the lines of code increases, then there is a chance that our internal representation also increases. So I will tell you with the help of the concept of stack and queue, because we have some unavoidable situation where the lines of code means when we get the increased number of lines of code, then as a result internal representation will also increase. But for the time being, please try to understand, we are concerned about the internal representation, right? Because in the diagram I have shown na, that the internal .hex file will be loaded into the microcontroller chip. So
Yes, ma'am.
we are expecting the lesser intermediate representation, yes. So nowadays you just think that we our objective is to get lesser number of internal representation, that is if else is providing. Hmm. But I will
Okay,
give you
ma'am.
some more example. Yes, it's a very good question.